Well, good evening. Happy Sunday to you. It's another episode of the Mike Prince Show Live. I am the radio guy, Dr. Mike Prince. Welcome to the Open Mic Broadcast Network, home of the Carlos Brown Show, She Say Sports, and a whole plethora of other programs that we're at each and every day. We got a guest lined up for you on tonight. We'll hear from B.J. Jones. We'll talk a little bit about some of the guys who are getting an extension to go to the next level for the NFL. We know the draft has concluded. There have been some Andy Dalton signings, some Jameson Winston signings, and still out there to be had is Cam Newton and Fournette from Jacksonville. Be pretty interesting to see how those things unfold. Some of the topics we'll try to get through on tonight. The Power Five are beginning to flex. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. The search for athletic director at Prairie View A&M University. We'll share what we can with that coming up on tonight. And we're going to try to open it up to take some of your calls on tonight. 936-333-5256. 936-333-5256. We'll see how all that comes together on tonight. Hopefully you guys have had a good Sunday. We have. We've been pretty productive on this end of things, trying to get everything sorted out. And speaking of getting things sorted out, it is still up in the air on what will and what will not be when it pertains to football. However, and let me go back on the collegiate and high school rankings. We know what's going to happen with the NFL. They're going to make it work. It's just absolutely no way around that. They are going to make it work. The television deals alone will circumvent that. But in the college ranks, it's a different story. But the Power Five are sick of mulling around with everyone else. And they said, look, we're going to do what we have to do. We have some TV deals in place, and we're going to have to just go ahead and flex our muscle and say, we're sorry, guys, but we got to go out here and make this money. So they will have some type of condensed version, I'm thinking, of football. But for those who remain, i.e. Group of Five, FCS Nation, don't think you're going to be able to hitch up to that wagon. And let me serve a notice to the Group of Five. I love you. I feel for you, but you're in a delusional state right now, just like most of Americans. We have bought into the fact that there's a such thing as middle class. And contrary to popular belief, it does not exist. Group of Fives are equivalent to those who think they're middle class. You're either rich or you're poor. And the pandemic has proven that. So, Group of Five, you really probably need to come back toward the middle, come on home, accept who you are, and work with it. The Power Five does not want you, just like they don't want the FCS. And the sooner we can get that and work out some type of happy medium for those who remain, we can probably put together some good money deals for everybody involved. But it's not on their scope of business to allow the Group of Fives to be considered a part of the mix. I hate to be the one to tell you, but that's just the way it is. We're going to take us a break, and we'll come back. We'll try to line up with Brother B.J. Jones, and we'll talk a little football and see what's going on in that neck of the woods. As I mentioned, we come to you each and every day right here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network. It's our goal, it's our endeavor to give you news that you can use right here, right now, 24/7, 365, not counting leap year. That'll be 366. We'll take a break, and we'll be right back. You listen to the Mike Prince Show live right here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network. We'd like to take this time to recognize our sponsors and supporters at the Open Mic Broadcast Network: Brazos Valley Schools Credit Union, Temple of Refuge Ministries, Prairie View Athletic Club, Attorney Lee Van Richardson, Diva Skin Conditioner, Helping Hands Lawn Service. Thank you for your support of our local and regional coverage of student athletics here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network.
Hello, this is Lonzo Hardy Jr., President of the SWAC Alumni Association. The SWAC Alumni Association is an organization founded on December 10, 1999 at the Sheraton Hotel in Birmingham, Alabama. Its mission is to serve as a rallying ground for individuals who have made the Southwestern Athletic Conference the illustrious conference that it is today. Its membership is open to former student athletes who have played in the conference in any sport, as well as to coaches, athletic administrators, staff members, game officials, and fans. Annually, the association holds a Legends Awards and Roast Banquet or Luncheon, where it honors individuals with Lifetime Achievement Awards, a Chuck Prophet Wagon Master Award, and occasionally a Distinguished Service Award. Proceeds from that event help to finance degree completion scholarships for student athletes who have exhausted their playing eligibility at SWAC universities, but who may still need an extra semester or two to complete their college studies. For more information on the SWAC Alumni Association or to get information on becoming a member, you can send correspondence to SWAC Alumni Association, 875 Miller Creek Lane, Newport News, Virginia, 23602. The email address is swacaluminaassociation@yahoo.com.
The birth of legends are storied in this conference. We must never forget our rich history. We now turn our gaze to the future. The new legends will emerge. New heroes to arise. The Southwestern Athletic Conference. Be our history.
And welcome back to the Mike Prince Live Sunday Night Live show. Come to you each and every day right here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network. At least that's our goal, that's our endeavor. We give you what you can, what we can while we can. And tonight will not be an exception to the rule. This next young man we have joining with us is a walking football almanac. He just knows what it was, when it was, and how it was. And he's a young man. And I'm proud to be affiliated with him here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network. And we'll introduce and present to others Brother B.J. Jones. How you doing tonight, my man?
Man, I'm doing pretty good, Mike, man. Just on the road, man, heading home, man. Spent some time in my hometown of Birmingham, Alabama.
Oh, you in Birmingham. That's right. They lifted the traveling graces in Georgia, so you was able to tip out at the ATL for a while, huh? Yeah, man. I just wanted to, come over and just kind of, because you really can't do too much, man. It was one of my good friends, his birthday this weekend, so I just got a chance to really just to see some family, man, and just, just kind of just relax, man. I don't really get out, man. You work from the house, so it's kind of like you don't get out to go to work. I try to avoid Walmart and all those other places if I can, so I only do that maybe once every 2 weeks. So
it's just nice to get out and get a little interaction.
I understand. So are you an Amazon man? You just have it delivered to you?
Yeah, man. Well, I do a little on Amazon, but usually, man, when I go to a place like Walmart or go to Kroger, I stack up for 2 weeks.
Okay.
So I won't have to get back out.
I got you. And speaking of stacking up, which is a perfect segue, the Power Fives have started to flex, brother.
Yeah.
And they're saying, to heck with the rest of you all. We got enough resources that we can tap into. We got too much money on the table, and we are going to have some football. And I think we're getting a cross message for those who remain, i.e. Group of Fives and FCS, in particular those of the HBCU networks, if you allow me to put it that way. They got the money to make that happen. We don't. Do you think we're being misled on our circuit that we're going to play on time just like they are?
I think you got people who are saying things to keep the fan base, excited and hopeful. But, I mean, that dog doesn't have a lot of teeth. I know Commissioner Greg Sankey from the SEC came out and basically said, hey, we don't need a unanimous decision to go forth with football. We're not going to worry about what the other conferences do. We can go on our own. I mean, that sounds great, but ultimately we're talking about public institutions that are state-ran. The governors and the powers that be are going to have more power over that decision-making than Greg Sankey does. I think he said something to keep the fan base fired up, kind of keep people hopeful. Because, I mean, the thing about it, you can't just come out and say, hey, we're on the edge. You want to keep those donations coming in. You want to keep that corporate money coming in. Just, say we're going to go along as planned, but Greg Sankey, unfortunately, he doesn't control that.
No, not by a stretch of his wildest imagination. And the way it's looking, you still have the business going on. Coaches are being added. Some are being subtracted. People are taking reductions. There are being sanctions that there's going to be a 20% reduction on some of the program's budgets, which is, in the case of some, in the neighborhoods of $3.4 million. That's a lot of money. And you can next start looking at, do you really need that many assistants to shave even more off these budgets?
Yeah, I mean, if you're seeing a few schools, Boise State was one. I think there was another school in the AAC that have already started furloughing assistants. Why this thing is going down. So, I mean, it's causing people to look at what's absolutely necessary for us to get to the bottom line. What's absolutely necessary, and what are some things that we've had just because we've always had. So I think you got a lot of athletic directors, a lot of athletic departments are looking at, hey, what's really necessary at this point.
Absolutely. We're talking right now with B.J. Jones, football consultant for the Open Mic Broadcast Network, and the lead man on the barbershop. We're still working out things on that. BJ had a few detours with the stoppage of football, but the show must go on. With that being said, BJ, we know that the draft has come and gone, and we know there's always possibility of a wild card from HBCU world of someone getting drafted. But the rubber starts meeting the road with the free agency drafts or the free agency invites and all this. And we know without the camps and things like that, a lot of the guys that were bubble players and that were able to sneak in are going to miss some golden opportunities. But what report do you have for us for those who did happen to slide through the cracks to get these invites?
Well, I see that, there was a few young men, Chris Rowland, the record-breaking receiver from Tennessee State. He has an invite. He'll be in Atlanta. with the Falcons. I know that Jalen Morton, guy from your alma mater, be going to Green Bay, as well as the tight end / fullback from Prairie View, who was grad transfer, came in from Grambling, who I think he's an amazing athlete. I think that young man, I think that he's going to shock some people with his athletic ability and what he's able to do. The shocker for me is not so far who has signed, but who hasn't. We're still waiting for Chris Blair, Alcorn State University, Solomon Muhammad, linebacker from Alcorn State University, Deshaun Waller, running back from Alcorn State University, Hunter Register, receiver from Southern University, Mick Williams from Grambling, defensive back. There are a lot of guys, even Elijah Bell from North Carolina A&T, record-breaking receiver there. There are a lot of guys that we kind of felt like, okay, if they don't get drafted, maybe they're a late round guy, but I just know once the phones start ringing for free agency, they're going to get a call. Those guys are still waiting on calls, and I am dumbfounded and baffled. And I knew that not having the pro days and then not having the HBCU combine, I knew that it was going to hurt. But it looks like it has been downright detrimental to not only the HBCU guys, but this was the lowest amount of players drafted from the FCS since 1993. I mean, we're talking about, over 2 decades since we had, this few amount players drafted from the FCS. And people saying, hey, it's because those FCS guys didn't get the opportunity to do their pro days. They didn't get the evaluation that guys got from the Power 5 and Group of 5. So this has been a really, really rough year for kids at the HBCU level, but particularly from the lower divisions of college football.
Absolutely. And you know what's even worse, BJ? Down the road, if there's no football played in 2020, it's going to get even tougher. And what I'm projecting, in the event there are no football games on the FCS level, you're going to see an outbreak of a lot of select camps to try to, highlight some of these guys to get at least a peek from NFL scouts and even CFL scouts, for that matter, to go on to the next level.
Yeah, and I think because you're going to have to be innovative. You're going to have to be able to do something, for kids to get a look. And we've seen what happened with, this off season with COVID coming in and counseling. A lot of the lower division schools, pro days, counseling, HBCU, combine. So we've seen what has happened. So if we don't have football, we're going to have to be really creative and innovative to make sure that the guys who are draft eligible are getting the look.
Yes, sir. I don't know exactly how they could do it, but if they don't do anything but clock these guys running their 40 times, show them displaying their strength in the weight rooms and their agility abilities, I could see them really, as you mentioned, becoming innovative. Everybody has been on this Zoom kick, and hopefully Zoom and get the hackers out of the way and they can move a little bit further. But you're definitely going to have to come out of the box and say, hey, guys, don't forget us on this side of the town.
Yeah. Because with that, the Pro Scouts are going to go with what they're familiar with. They're going to go and give the Power 5 kids the benefit of the doubt. You look at some of the kids that were drafted from the Power 5, it was overwhelmingly just Power 5 kids in the draft. That's because, scouts are going to go, hey, maybe I haven't seen him, but I know the level of competition that he's played against. He's coming from, if there was a semi-pro, it would be the Power 5. I know that he's played, pro competition, and this is how we did. So we can roll the dice there. And a lot of the G5 and, the FCS, HBCU, the D2 kids, they're not getting that benefit of the doubt unless they just jumped off the board like a young man did that came from Leonore Ryan, a local kid out of the Atlanta area who, I heard the buzz about him last summer and about what he could do.
Right. And it goes. I know we don't like to play the games, but it's more than just a payday for these kids when they go up against the Power 5 deals. They get a chance to try to display that they can play on the same level with these guys, even if that's that only one game of footage that the scouts have to share.
Yeah, I mean, you remember when Titus Howard from Alabama State got drafted
yes, sir.
in the
yes,
first
sir.
round. You remember on ESPN, the film that they kept showing was that film against Auburn.
That's right.
And what he was able to do against that Auburn defensive line. The reason why that's important is because those young men that he was blocking against, one was a first rounder, one was a second rounder. You know what I mean? So that entire Auburn defensive line will probably be playing in the NFL. So to show that what you're able to do against NFL talent, that go ahead and that checks off another box.
Absolutely. And so a lot of people, we talk about the guys getting hurt and being outmatched and embarrassing the university. There are some hidden gems to it that I don't think we see on the surface, but now that you got it, because let's be honest, you played at Southern D1 ball, and if you were like I was coming back way back in 1985, we all thought we were better than what we actually were. And so when you get a chance to play against some of these guys where you think you ought to be, you're gonna eat an extra bowl of Cheerios that morning to let them know that you just as for real as they are.
Yeah, and then it brings out the best in you. I mean, you want to compete against, the best. You want to be able to, show people that, hey, I'm just as good as these young men are. So, and young men look forward to that competition. They look forward to that competition. So I know a lot of people don't like the games, but a lot of the players, if you see them, the way that they communicate on social media, they like it. They welcome the challenge.
Absolutely. We're talking right now with B.J. Jones, some football talk. B.J., I've got to take a break, but can you hold on through the break, man, and we can continue our conversation?
Sure.
Okay. B.J. will be right back with us, and we'll continue to give you what we can while we can right here on the Open Mic Broadcast Network. You listen to the Sunday Night Live edition. Keep it where you got it. We'll be right back.
Chris, can you put the video game controller down for a second?
I can talk and play. Oh, I'm totally annihilating this punk kid in Nebraska.
I just feel like you're not acting like a grown-up in our relationship.
Him too.
Well, you still ride your skateboard to work, there's the comic book collection, the race car bed.
Look, I'm young at heart, but I put money into my 401k every paycheck. I picked up a few savings tips at feedthepig.org. I have control over my financial life now, and that feels pretty grown up.
Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. Putting some money from every paycheck into a savings account or contributing to your 401k can make a big difference later. For free ideas and easy tips on ways to save, go to feedthepig.org. That's feedthepig.org.
So, I bet I look like a grown-up to you now.
Well, except for the footy pajamas, I'd have to agree.
This message brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
Broadcasters come into our lives on radio and TV, bringing us information and entertainment. Broadcasters are there for us, but who is there for them when they fall on hard times? The Broadcasters Foundation of America provides financial assistance to broadcasters in acute need due to a critical illness, accident, or other serious misfortune. If you know of a broadcaster, on the air or behind the scenes, who may need our help, please share our message. Visit broadcastersfoundation.org.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Mike Prince along with B.J. Jones. We got a little more moments to steal away with him. B.J., real quickly, with this Southern FAMU game that was going to be, and obviously hanging in the pendulum right now, and there was an article in the Jackson State Clarion Athletic Director Ashley Robinson, talking about the month of September was going to be $1 million month for these guys. How do you try to rebound, if you can, with the money that's at stake on our level?
Oh, man, I think from a scheduling standpoint, I think you will see more of those big matchups and money games going into 2021, especially Southern and FAMU. I was at that game in Tallahassee last year, and that atmosphere was nothing short of amazing. And it was just because the rivalry hadn't been played in a couple of years to get those two back. And it was really highly anticipated to get FAMU back into Baton Rouge, for the first time in 12 years. So, I mean, that's going to be big. Talk about what if Jackson State doesn't play Tennessee State in the Southern Heritage Classic? Or what if Tennessee State misses Southern Heritage Classic and the Detroit Classic against Southern University? We're talking about two of their biggest games of the season. The games that the alumni really get up for against their fellow HBCUs. So I think to recoup those funds, I think you will see hopefully we'll see a lot of those games get rescheduled for 2021. But I hope that it gives the athletic directors the idea that, hey, instead of these games being a 1 or 2 year deal, maybe we may need to make this a multiple year series where this is something that the fans really like, and it's usually a pretty good ball game, and it's a nice payday for both schools when they're able to host.
Absolutely. Which brings right back to mind that maybe we were talking at one time we need to dissolve these classics and strike more television deals. Of course, that was one of the big networks, we won't call their name out, who was pushing for that. But I think to help the survival mode of our FCS programs, we need to probably lean back towards some of these classics, rekindle some of them, and make the most out of it as much as we can to keep the money flowing as best as we can.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think that I think at one point we had got kind of over classicked out. Like, any game that was a good matchup, instead of having it on campus, we kind of classicked out. And I think people finally got the idea about the classic. Hey, if it makes sense, then let's do it. But a lot of these games are better on campus. Better on campus. Because we started getting those classic games in these random places, against these teams that you're like, okay, this should probably be better on campus. So I think that we need to get, make sure we're taking care of the ones that we have. And I think it would be a good idea to bring back some of the very successful classics that we're missing, like the Atlanta Football Classic, for one. Maybe getting back the literacy, classic back in Little Rock, and then, the Eli Whitney up in New York. Those classics that were very successful because you were pulling teams that had great, big alumni bases in those areas. So the fans in the local area are already fired up about the teams coming in anyway.
Absolutely. And you can, as you say, make a little change for everybody involved. And when you have these matchups in strange places that have no HBCU fingerprint and they're trying to establish it, it's more risk at that than to go in with something that you normally can be accustomed to. And I've always been one, the smaller venues, to me, make better sense, and here's why. You create an urgency for people to get their tickets when the tickets are released. And if you're playing in a large place like NRG, even the Superdome, people say, oh, I got enough time, they'll never sell a game out. But when you get that and you create that buzz, and let me say this while I can, I think people would pay a little bit more to get in a smaller venue because they know the rarity that they might not get there if they sit on their duffs and wait too long. So, and another thing that you can do is make these home games like homecoming instead of just homecoming event, if that makes any sense. You got to put, I know we put themes together, but we kind of slap them and hope they stick to the wall. But when you go in here and strategically set these things up, working with your communities, and have many homecomings leading up to the main homecoming, I think you can see a little bit more bang for your buck coming in the near future.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that's a great idea. I mean, I think that, making sure, hey, maximize your opportunities if you're playing having to play a classic. But then also make sure you're bringing in quality home games. Not to toot, anybody's horn, but I think that Roman Baker at Southern University did a great job with that, with the schedule with Southern University. If you look at that schedule, you got Tennessee State at a neutral site, but like once you get past, Tennessee State, the neutral site, you had FAMU at home, Jackson State at home, Alcorn at home, Morehouse was a home game. Then you have another, has a Bayou Classic there at the end. I think that the way that schedule was laid out was picture perfect.
Absolutely, absolutely. And hopefully we can get this thing rekindled. Look, man, I know that I've pushed you past your limit, and I truly want to appreciate you, but we want to give the people an opportunity on how they can follow you and keep up with the work that you're doing.
And you can follow me on Twitter at Inside HBCU Football. Facebook also at Inside HBCU Football, or just simply BJ Jones. You can check me out. Usually with Carlos and you, man, with Open Mic Network. The barbershop is coming soon. I'm actually doing a little studio setup to kind of give it, I want to do a little video with it as well. So I'm trying to do a little studio setup, trying to get that all knocked out. And we're trying to be creative, since we don't have football, kind of just bring up some show topics. I think that we kind of get into some historical data when we start talking about HBCU football. And I'm also still doing work with HBCU Game Day. You can check us out. Check me out there at HBCU Game Day, on Twitter or on Facebook. So I'm kind of all over the place, man. You can track me down.
That's all right. Well, stay all over the place, brothers. Keep your head on a swivel, and you take care. Be safe out there, man, and we'll talk to you real soon, okay?
Man, thank you, man. Looking forward to it, Mike.
All right. BJ Jones, football analyst for the Open Mic Broadcast Network. We're going to take a break, and we'll come back. We're going to try to see if we can get some of your calls in, 936-333-5256. We'll take a break. We'll be right back. You listen to the Mike Prince Show Live. Don't you dare touch that dial.
The Open Mic Broadcast Network is an independent network that is dedicated to local community programming featuring sports, the gospel, community news, and much, much more. It is our endeavor to keep the community informed, enlightened, encouraged, and entertained. Our continued existence is solely predicated on those who donate toward our cause. The opportunity to give is a very simple process. You can visit our Open Mic Broadcast Network site at obnradio.com, click on the PayPal button, and become a supporter today. For those of you who would prefer to send in a donation, make all checks payable to Open Mic Broadcast Network, OPEN, capital MIC, Broadcast Network, P.O. Box 891, Prairie View, Texas, 77446. Thank you for your support. Thank you for spreading the word of the Open Mic Broadcast Network, serving the community through faith and athletics, the voice of student athletics since 2002.
I present to you 3 of the fiercest subjects ever assembled in the cage of doom. First, the brain-wrenching behemoth, Algebra 2, weighing in at a mind-boggling 800 pounds. Foreign languages! The multilingual international sensation capable of tossing you clear across the Atlantic. And finally, biology. More ferocious than formaldehyde, she'll dissect you 1 chromosome at a time. Who among you will step up to their challenge?
Yeah, I'll do it. Me too. I'm in. Sign me up.
Take on the tough classes now. You need them to prepare for college. Find out which classes you need at knowhowtogo.org.
Brought to you by the American Council on Education, Lumina Foundation for Education, and the Ad Council.
Hey, Mike. Just wanted to take time to truly and greatly appreciate you. I think that the stuff that you do is very underrated and unappreciated sometimes. I do believe that your love for HBCU and Prairie View is very, very, very generous. And I just wanted to just take the time to appreciate that. In the words of Director of Alumni Affairs, Billy Davis, and I quote, he's mentioned before that it's our job as alumni to protect and uphold the university. And I'm one that's strictly facts driven. And I believe that, when we're able to get the facts and not so much opinionated messages, clear cut facts, holding people responsible and accountable for their actions, I believe that there's nothing wrong with that, right? Because we all love Prairie View and we want to protect our university and keep it at its highest standards and continue to improve it day in and day out. No exceptions to nobody. And I think that the things that you do is very appreciative from my perspective. I just want to encourage you to keep things going, keep things rolling. We support you, keep it going, keep putting out the facts out there. And, again, we'll continue to support you as other alumni do. Thank you. Have a great day.
And welcome back to the Sunday night live edition of the Mike Prince Show. I want to thank our guest, B.J. Jones, for joining in with us and breaking down a little football talk. And want to let you guys know that we are going to be trying to take some of your calls on tonight, 936-333-5256. Call that number, jump in on the conversation, and share your thoughts and opinions with us. You heard from the message line. The message line is a 24-hour access where you can call in, leave your thoughts, questions, comments, or concern. That number is 713-570-6736. But right now, we're going to try to take you on live if you are willing to cross that threshold, 936-333-5256. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, the Prairie View A&M University athletic director search continuing on, trekking through. Depend on who you ask, the information is getting hot and heavy. Y'all listen and follow me enough. No, I don't care about jumping out there being first to come off with anything, but I've got some things, but I'm still working on some confirmation, if you would. But let's just say that the process of elimination is moving forward. And with that being said, we're that much closer to coming up with a new announcement for an athletic director. Is that enough tease for you? We got to be careful on what we say and how we say, because you all have a tendency to take what I say and run with it. That's why I got to make sure that if I tell you something, you can take it to the bank. And speaking of taking to the bank, the NFL draft, of course, had Mr. Burrow going to the Cincinnati Bengals. And as a result, with him going to the Cincinnati Bengals, Andy Dalton, the Houston native, has now agreed to a one-year deal to back up Dak at Cowboy Nation. Now, I found it interesting. Dalton signed for $3.1 million, I believe, one-year deal. And Jameis Winston signed for $1.1 million with the New Orleans Saints. Made me scratch my head. I said, well, we'll see what happened. But I like the fact that Winston, and he was in the Tampa newspaper, no, I'm sorry, the Advocate from Louisiana, talking about how he looks forward to learning in the quarterback room and taking it all in. He has confidence that his eyes have been corrected. And still, that's scary. I know he threw a lot of interceptions, 30 to be exact, threw 30 touchdown passes. But he did that with poor vision. Can you imagine what this brother is capable of, given the right circumstances, given the right situation? I know Tom Brady is a living legend. Tom Brady has a lot to try to prove that he was not the benefactor of the Belichick system. So he's going to go all out to prove and discredit those naysayers from that area. In fact, that he said, "Oh, Gronk, I need you, baby boy." And Gronk and Brady seem like they pulled an okie doke on Belichick. And I don't think they play each other. But if they ever cross paths, he's going to try to make them pay. And speaking of paying, we did a survey talking about the three quarterbacks that I was watching personally. And that was Burrow, also Mr. Hurts, and Tua. Of course, Burrow with Cincinnati, Tua with Miami, and the surprise is Jalen ends up with Philadelphia. And on our survey, we asked who you thought would be the better pro between those three. And Tua led the charge with 43%. 43% of those that were polled says that Tua will be the better pro than Burrow and Hurts. In fact, Burrow and Hurts ended up in a tie. Both acquired 28%. And I find that interesting. I really believe that Jalen Hurts will probably be the better pro in the long run. And I'm stressing in the long run. Burrow was the benefactor of being a grad student, I think, taking online courses. A great talent, not taking anything away from that. But let's be real. When you can spend 12, 16 hours studying film and your counterparts are going to class, it's a pretty simple, I think, situation. But we'll see. We'll keep a tab on everything and see what's what, who's who, and how all this pans itself out. Meanwhile, Jalen Hurts went through the most adversity. I'm not doubting Tua overcoming an injury. Hurts overcame slight injuries as well, but the psychological and the mental toughness that Hurts had to apply at Alabama and at Oklahoma. Now, there are some who say Hurts can be a little special. And let's be honest, when a person has talents, skill sets, and they have the exclusive rule treatment and they're young, that's to be expected. But I am extremely interested and excited to see how all these things pan out. We know about Tua. Where he was headed and how he was getting there. And I am really pulling that he is able to overcome this catastrophic injury, that he can have a productive NFL career. I'm going to take another quick break, and we'll come back with more of the budget situations that'll be facing across the land in the world of collegiate sports. You're listening to The Mike Prince Show, Sunday Night Live, right here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network. We'll take a break, and we'll be right back.
Hey, Mike. Just wanted to take
Broadcasters come into our lives on radio and TV, bringing us information and entertainment. Broadcasters are there for us, but who is there for them when they fall on hard times? The Broadcasters Foundation of America provides financial assistance to broadcasters in acute need due to a critical illness, accident, or other serious misfortune. If you know of a broadcaster on the air or behind the scenes who may need our help, please share our message. Visit broadcastersfoundation.org.
As a dad, you'll probably spend years teaching your son how to hit a baseball, how to throw a tight spiral, hit a receiver, how to spring off a diving board and hit the water, how to hit a one-wood, a nine iron, how to hit the bullseye, how to hit the strike zone, hit a jump shot, hit the open man, hit the hockey net. And maybe the most challenging of all, how to hit the books. But the question is this. How much time will you spend teaching him what not to hit? Teach your son early and often that all violence against women is wrong. For tips on what to say, visit endabuse.org. Brought to you by the Family Violence Prevention Fund, the Waite Institute for Violence Prevention, the Ad Council, and this station.
We'd like to recognize sponsors. Attorney Lee Van Richardson, located at 1047 Austin Street in Hempstead, Texas. Their phone number is 979-826-6008. Diva Skin Conditioner, located at divafeet.com, D-I-V-A-H feet.com. Their phone number, 903-270-0026. Prairie View Athletic Club, serving student athletes since 1986. Their phone number is 936-857-5817. Temple of Refuge Ministries, located in Prairie View, Texas, at 45372 Old Highway 290. Brazos Valley Schools Credit Union, several locations to serve you: Katy, Rosenberg, Brenham, Bryan, College Station, and Waller, Texas. Their phone numbers, toll free, 855-391-2149. If you or your business would like to be a part of the sponsorship team here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network, contact us at 832-213-8824.
And welcome back to the Mike Prince Show, live right here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network. We come to you each and every day, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. Also come to you by way live here. The Carlos Brown Show is heard live 10 to 12 on Saturdays. She Say Sports with Sonia. Of course, we heard from BJ. We also hear from Rob Butler. Rob Butler, I had him on, and he admitted Lamar got away with one. Doesn't do anything for Valley. Close only counting horseshoes and hand grenades. But nonetheless, it is what it is. We still got a few minutes left here in the hour show that comes to you. If you feel like you want to jump in on the conversation, 936-333-5256. We talked about the budgets and how some programs across the country are doing the mandatory cuts, the salary cuts. It's been whispered that Prairie View is going to be in those same lines to help ease the blow, if you would. And as we stated earlier, the budget now is not the challenge. It's the 2021 budget that's going to be the challenge. Now, if basketball is able to resume at its normal state, it can kind of offset that. But if you follow along with me, it's like the programs are going to be like a semester behind on their financial crunches right now. And they're going to have to try to offset those things to make it happen. And, of course, some programs have decided, you know what, do we even need sports as a whole? You got students now who are taking lawsuits up against their institutions, saying that they pay for certain classes and certain amenities that they do not have the affordability to experience and enjoy, and they want their money back. And the institutions are, to some degree, resistant. So in result, the American way is, if you don't agree, I'll sue, and we'll let the courts decide. So that's where they are right now. And some institutions not disbanding sports altogether, but they're shaving back on some sports. We've discussed that here as well. Instead of the 14 teams, what team sports would you feel comfortable keeping? Somebody's feelings are going to get hurt. But for those that you do away with in the divisional competition level, you could still have those sports, but let them be club sports. Let them be sports that they can travel within the city, county, and possibly regionally, but not on the D1 level. And when I looked at it and counted up the cost, I was anywhere between 8 and 10 programs. And since I've already said it, I'll repeat what I thought those programs would be. Of course, football, men and women's basketball, baseball, softball, men and women's outdoor track. And I would like to see these, but they're kind of bubble. Volleyball, bowling, soccer. I could live with those. Would that be detrimental to the other programs? Yes and no. You don't ever want to kill a kid's dream of competing. But the reality kicks in and sets in that the other sports, and I think I said bowling too, make sure I add that, but the other sports that were on that bubble, they're not really generating a whole bunch of income. And for the most part, if you exclude tournament, baseball and softball could be questionable. But I've always said you got to understand how to market the baseball aspect. Baseball is a community game. The average person can relate to it. And one of the, I think, greatest blown opportunities, and I'll just, I'm talking from the Prairie View factor right now. You don't have night games. And I know there's been a big old problem and challenge about the wrong lights on the baseball field. And the softball field had the baseball lights. But I think it's been noticeable enough that something could have and should have been done about that by this point. You could have a pretty adequate income from some night community baseball games. I think the community would embrace it, and even potential new fan base would be interested in being a part of some night baseball. But who am I? I'm just a guy with a microphone that some of you say I have a big mouth and too many opinions. But guess what? That's why we do what we do each and every day right here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network. Our endeavor and mission is to give you news that you can use, information that's going to educate, challenge you, and even to a degree motivate you. And that's the whole shebang. I'm going to take another break. We will come back with our final segment, thoughts and comments about what's going on in the world of athletics. You listen to the Mike Prince Show. We'll be right back.
One voice. It can get the point across, but it only carries so far. Add a voice. It's richer, louder, but that has limits too. Add a third voice. It's even more powerful. Add another, and another, and many, many more. And we are stronger than ever. That's the power of a community coalition. They help community groups, faith groups, civic organizations, PTAs, employers, and many others in your community organize their resources and focus them where they're needed most, like fighting to keep kids away from drugs. Ask a group that you belong to if they should belong to a community coalition. It's easy to get involved. Visit helpyourcommunity.org and they'll tell you exactly how your group can help. That's helpyourcommunity.org, because you get more when we get together. Brought to you by the Office of National Drug Control Policy and the Ad Council.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to our final segment of tonight's show. Remind you that you can listen to us throughout the course of the week right here on the Open Mic Broadcast Network. Go to our website, obnradio.com, the YouTube channel, Open Mic Broadcast Network, OPEN, capital MIC. It's all right there. This show and other shows. She Say Sports, the Carlos Brown Show. And we have a new service that we've launched on May 1st. And I think you're going to really appreciate it and enjoy it. I grew up in an era where transistor radios were a big thing. I love radio. There's no doubt to that. And I know that radios are a rarity. And I go to challenge any of you right now, other than your car. Can you locate in your home a radio? I challenge you. And I think I already know the answer. Unlike me, because I am the radio guy, I have radios all over the place. But we came up with some brainstorming. What is the most economical way to reach people without having them to do anything extra? No downloading of apps, no eating up data, none of these other drags that come with keeping up with modern technology. And we developed the Telenetwork line. What the Telenetwork line is a place where you can dial into a number. You can get local weather. You can get some local news. You can get some local school reports. You can get some local ministries. It is a one-stop shop to take care of your information, to take care of your spiritual, and to take care of your sport need. It's available 24 hours a day. Check it out and let us know what you think. That phone number is 720-721-1558. I'll give it to you one more time, 720-721-1558. You can dial that number 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to get caught up with news, information, sports, and the whole shebang. You ought to check it out. I'm pretty sure that you would appreciate what we're doing and how we're getting it done. Speaking of getting things done, I am to the point now where I've got to prepare to exit stage left. I want to thank BJ Jones for joining us on tonight. As we get ready for Monday, nothing's not promised, but we want to take advantage of every possible opportunity to be here with you and do what we love doing. Don't forget to follow us on our social media handles, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, all at The Mike Prince Show. The YouTube channel, Open Mic Broadcast Network, our website, obnradio.com. I'm about to get out of here. My time is far spent. The Lord say the same and the creek don't rise. I'll see you tomorrow morning. I am the radio guy, Mike Prince, and as always, you guys be blessed, and we'll see you on the other side.